So, have you ever stopped to think about what it's like being a college student right now? I mean, seriously. The seniors graduating this year, they're the first class to have spent pretty much their entire college career with generative AI by their side. This tech, the kind that can write an essay or create an image that looks completely human-made, well, it has absolutely rocked the world of academia. It's forcing everyone to ask some really big, really tough questions.
And just to give you a sense of the scale here, this is not some tiny niche thing. A survey just last year found that a whopping 86% of college students are already using AI tools for their schoolwork. 86%. It has completely swept through campuses. And let's be real, there's no putting this genie back in the bottle. Okay, so just to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly are we talking about here? Think of tools like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. You can literally ask it to write a 1,000-word essay on, say, philosophical ethics, or maybe spit out a line of code for a tricky programming assignment, and boom, it does it, instantly. What used to take students hours of work can now be done in minutes. So you can probably guess what happened next, right? This has thrown a massive wrench into the whole idea of academic integrity. For a lot of educators, this first wave of AI didn't feel like some cool new innovation. No, it felt a lot more like a crisis. And this quote right here, it just gets to the very heart of the problem for teachers. Professor Megan Fritz started noticing student papers that were, super polished, but also weirdly impersonal, kind of like reading a business memo. And it hit her. If she's just reading something ChatGPT wrote, how on earth is she supposed to know if her students are actually learning anything? So what's a professor to do? Well, it's turned into this super tedious, time-sucking process. When she even suspects a student used AI, she has to run their paper through 8 different detection programs. Then she has to set up a meeting with a student to see if they can even talk about what they supposedly wrote. As she puts it, her job has gone from teaching to policing. It's just a total lose-lose. But here's the real kicker. All of that detective work, it's all based on a really shaky foundation. Because these AI detection tools, they're not foolproof, not even close. They make mistakes all the time. They're known to flag writing from students who aren't native English speakers or even just kids with a unique writing style. And that creates a massive risk, not for the professor, but for the student.
Yeah. Just try to imagine being Ashley Dunn. She was a senior at LSU, so close to graduating. And suddenly, she gets accused of using AI on an essay. Some detector flagged her work, and just like that, her entire academic career is on the line. She's facing expulsion. She was eventually cleared, thank goodness. But her story, which blew up on TikTok, showed that this is a complete nightmare happening to students everywhere.
So you've really got this two-sided problem, right? On one side, you have professors who are forced to be police officers, totally undermining their ability to actually teach. And on the other, you have students living with this terrifying risk of being falsely accused, getting a 0 and failing a class. It's a system that's just pumping anxiety out for everybody involved.
But that's not the whole story, because some schools and professors are taking a totally different path. Instead of trying to ban AI or fight it, they're leaning in. They're actually exploring how this technology could be a powerful tool for, deeper learning. And this quote from Professor Lori Kendall at Ohio State just sums up this pragmatic mindset perfectly. She figured out pretty early on that trying to ban AI was a battle she was never going to win. Her thinking was simple. The reality is, they're going to use it anyway. So, if that's the case, why not teach them how to use it well?
And her students are totally proving her right. Take a first-year student named Rachel Gervais. She's not using AI to cheat, she's using it as a study buddy. She'll get it to generate practice questions for a test, or ask it to explain a really complex idea in a simpler way. It helps her figure out exactly what she needs to focus on before a big exam. It's a learning aid. And this whole debate, it has huge real-world consequences. I mean, the argument is that if universities don't teach students how to use these tools effectively, they're basically failing them. They're not preparing them for the jobs of the future, where being fluent in AI is quickly becoming a must-have skill. This shift in thinking goes all the way to the top. The provost at Ohio State, Ravi Bellamkonda, he was looking at a cheating case involving AI, and he had this kind of aha moment. Instead of just seeing a problem, he saw potential. And his question completely changed the conversation at his university, shifting it from one about policing to one about opportunity. And the results of this new mindset are just fascinating.
Get this. In a music class, a doctoral student is using AI to analyze thousands of tuba repetitions to figure out the perfect airflow to hit a note. Another student is using it to scan hours and hours of home recordings to study how babies learn music, a task that would have been unbelievably tedious to do by hand. It's unlocking all these new creative possibilities.
So, what we have are two completely different visions for AI on campus. One sees a threat that could destroy learning, and the other sees a tool that could revolutionize it. The real challenge for everyone in education right now is figuring out how to navigate this incredible moment and, find the right balance.
A vice provost over at UA Little Rock really framed this whole debate perfectly. On the one hand, if it's used the wrong way, AI can completely short-circuit the entire process of learning. But on the other hand, if it's used the right way, it might just be the most powerful tool students have ever had. The stakes could not be higher. Getting this right is absolutely crucial.
And that really leads us to the fundamental question that places like Ohio State are wrestling with right now. As we bring this technology into our lives, we have to figure out what's the stuff we can offload to AI? And what are the things that truly require our unique human value, our creativity, our critical thinking, our empathy?
In the end, this is so much bigger than just grades and term papers. Provost Bellamconda puts the challenge on a much grander scale. With all this disruption, he asks, how do we make sure this whole thing is ultimately a net positive for us as a society? How do we make sure it actually improves our lives as human beings? Now that is a question with no easy answer. But what's becoming crystal clear is that the solution can't just be handed down from the top. The students, the ones who are living this new reality every single day, they have to be a major part of this conversation, helping to build the future of their own education. And really, that's a conversation we all need to be a part of.